This video brought to you by our Patreons. Please consider supporting this channel and joining our Patreons at patreon.com/NovaWing24.
Hi there folks, my name's NovaWing24 and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for your simulation release news and goings on from the week that was. So here we are on Sunday the 11th of October for another bumper episode, and we're going to continue starting with the simulation of the hour, being Microsoft Flight Simulator and some releases for it. So in the first release for MSS, Latin VFR came out with their release and their rendition of Bradley International for the new sim. Hot on the heels of their release just a few weeks ago of the release of this same airport for the legacy. It is kind of weird calling Prepared a legacy sim now. It really is, but genuinely, it absolutely is. Anyway, so Latin VFR have come out with this one. It looks like it's pretty much just a port over, to be honest, but port over in the terms that they've still spent the time and made sure that it is actually, they've rebuilt models where necessary, so it does look impressive. It looks like they've made full use of PBR on the ground markings and the ground polys as well, so it does have correct reflections of the weather if you do get weather at the airport. All the terminals and all the buildings and all the airport clutter has been brought up and made sure it is fully compliant with the new Sims systems as well. Full custom updates for the to provide realistic airport lighting. Taxiways, aprons, all and runways all sloped as well to actually give proper gradients as it is for the real airport, which is a really important thing to do. So that is definitely new. Customized jetways and actual setups as well. Overall, looking pretty damn awesome. The only thing that I don't know about this release is the same thing that I pointed out with the last one is, what about the Air Museum? There's nothing, like, the Air Museum is a fundamental part of this airport, and I can't find any pictures of it, and I have nothing in the description tells me whether or not it's there in the sim. But yeah, there you go. If you do want to pick this one up, if you do want to pick this one up, this one's available. And again, I have to praise Latin VFR for price pointing this one. I think the price point is pretty much spot on for this one. $15 US, or your original equivalent, available now from Latin VFR. In another release for Microsoft Flight Simulator this week saw the long hinted at and sort of suggested release from Orbix of Cityscape Sydney. Now, this is an interesting one this is their first cityscape for the new sim, and I want to probably touch on this one because originally we'd expected this one to be just a landmarks pack, whereas it's now transformed into a full cityscape pack where they're actually redone essentially all of Sydney. And I've got a couple of mixed feelings about this one, I'll be honest. So it's going to be interesting. I do have a copy to review. Thank you very much to my Twitch supporters, a specific Twitch supporter for providing me a copy of this one. But this comes to us from developer Frank Schneeben, who is responsible for Cityscape Honolulu and Melbourne Cityscape in Australia V2 for Prepared and FSA, sorry, only for Prepared V4 and V5. So he's gone through and developed in association with the in-house Orbix team and redone all of major Simmery, including updating the ortho imagery that ships with the sim, or that streams with the Microsoft Flight Simulator. And updating it for the inner suburbs, airport, and CBD of Sydney, as they believe that it does improve it over the fidelity of the ones that were included with the sim. Now, initially when I saw this one, it sort of said that it was okay. It's only 100 POIs have been included and recreated in this pack, and I thought for a $20, sorry, for a $15 pack, which is essentially it's more than double the price of the pack that is available for that Orbix released for London Landmarks pack. I was sort of like that, and that pack includes over 400, and I was like, I'm not so sure about this. But as I said, like, it comes into that with not only is it the POIs, you also each with very high levels of detail, unique PBR texture work, and have ultra high detail on many of them, including the Sydney Harbour Bridge, finally in the sim. It's the fact that it does include this custom aerial imagery, and also over 28,000 buildings have actually been overhauled. So essentially all of the autogen buildings have been overhauled for the greater Sydney area. So But again, it's interesting actually, guys. I have a couple of mixed feelings about this. Actually, I do have mixed feelings about this because I wonder about with replacing all of these buildings for the sim. What's that going to be like in performance? It's going to be very interesting because one of the beauties of Microsoft Flight Simulator and how it is so flexible and how it runs so smoothly even on some older systems is the fact that a lot of that stuff is done. It's not pre-made. Essentially, it's constructed on the fly in the sim. So it's actually, it doesn't rely on this huge data dump of stuff on your hard drive. So it's going to be interesting as it is to be interesting to see how it looks. And I'm looking forward to giving it a review. So make sure you keep an eye out on my channel for the review coming very shortly. But in the meantime, if you are wanting to get it, it still looks absolutely fantastic. This pack, you're looking at paying $15 US or your original equivalent, available now from Orbix Direct. Continuing on with releases for the new simulator, this next release comes to us from FSX 3D, a developer that's been around for quite a number of years. This saw their release this week of their rendition of Calvi Santa Catherine Airport in Corsica for the new sim. So this one straight up, this is a straight port. They don't even hide that this is a port. And yeah, it's the quality of the photoreal that it sits on is disappointing when compared to the rest of the sim. So I would be questioning the value of this one. To their credit, they do offer a 60-ish% discount if you previously purchased this airport for legacy sims. However, the price point they're charging is still legacy price points. They're still, for a new user, you're still talking almost $20 for this. And as I said, it's a straight port. They haven't updated the textures. They haven't updated the photoreal. They've done the bare minimum to be able to put into the new sim. So buyer beware. Available now if you do want to pick it up. Available now for, as I said, for $18 US or your original equivalent. Available now from Sim Market. Continuing on with other releases, so moving on, it's on from DC Scenery Design for the new simulator. They released this week of Goldendale Municipal Airport in Washington State. Like a lot of DC Scenery Design releases, not a lot of information about this one other than the generic 5-6 lines they use on every release. Looking at the imagery they're using, though, I would not be surprised, and I don't know 100% if this is true or not, but I would not be surprised if this is a port over, as the imagery that it uses talks about 2004. So given that that was 16 years ago, I don't know. Maybe that sign is still there at the airport today in 2020. I don't know. But looking at this one, I'm sort of going, nice enough. Is it $12 US worth? I'm not sure. If it's your local airport, possibly. But interesting choices. There you go for this one. If you are wanting to pick this one up, as I said, you can pick it up for $12 US or your original equivalent. Available now from Sim Market. Continuing on with more releases for the new sim, this time from developer Central Sim. Saw their release of their rendition of Jorge Newbery Airport in Buenos Aires in Argentina. Again, this one is a port over of their previous rendition for Prepared. However, to the credit, they have redone their texturing of the buildings and the modeling to actually sort of support the new lighting engine and the new texture engine in the new sim, and they have acknowledged that the imageries that the space sim comes with is better than theirs, so they have actually used it in. So that's a good acknowledgement, and great to see the developers, acknowledging when it is true to actually use that, which is great. And price point, pretty much on par. I think it's not too bad. So coming in at $15 US or your original equivalent, available now from Sim Market. For yet another airport release, this time from developer Tabaret, saw the release this week of their rendition of Lydd Airport in Kent in southeast of England. Not a lot of information about this airport. Looks like it's single runway ops with a cargo terminal and some GA stuff. However, I want to point out a very, very concerning trend from Tabaret. So Tabaret, this is their fourth airport release for the new simulator. Each release from Tabaret has gone up in price, and the quality, in my opinion, looking at the imagery, has gone down. So I am really not impressed. Initially, some of their first releases look pretty good. They have their issues, but they look pretty good. But now this is turning into a money grab. Because, as I said, each successive release from Tabaret has gone up in price, and the quality and what you get for it has gone down. And that is a concerning trend. And they seem to be sort of trying to get away with it or slip this under the radar for people by basically offering a discount if you've purchased any of their new sim products previously. I mean, their Microsoft Flight Simulator products previously. You get this at a reduced cost. You get a couple of bucks off, but not good enough. Really not good enough. I think if they'd stuck at a lower price point, probably would have slipped under the radar a bit better. But yeah, it's totally calling them out on this. The quality is declining. The price is going up. Not a good direction to be going, guys. Really not. You're fundamentally, Tabaret, you're better than this. Straight up, you are. If you wanted to pick this one up, you're looking at paying $16 US or your original equivalent, available now from Sim Market. Continuing on with scenery releases this week, for the release this week from Pilot Experience Sim of their first release for the new sim of their edition of St. Tropez Airport for the new Microsoft Flight Simulator. So this one is it's a very famous airport. This one because of its location. And it is kind of cool because basically there's no departures on runway 24. As I said, runway 24 is for arrivals only. Departures are on runway 6. So essentially, it's a one way in, one way out sort of reciprocal kind of way because of the scenery, because of the terrain. Now, what is probably the first thing to say about this is that it is essentially a port over, and you do get a discount from the developer, fairly hefty, fairly significant discount as well from the developer if you previously own it. Probably what to look for this one though is that although it is a port over, it's that quality port over when they're redoing some things that they have to do where required. So they've redone all the textures, including for full implementation of PBR. Required a variety of other content, including making sure that all the runways and the taxiways are sloped and have their undulationness added to them. A variety of autogen buildings have been replaced and customized for the surrounding area as well, including custom points of interest of a variety of farms and chapels nearby as well for visual approaching. So a lot of good stuff being done through here. Updated all the ground polys and textures as well, including with all the new tools. So looking pretty damn cool. The important thing to note as well is that they are getting ready for whenever helicopters make their appearance in the sim by adding in a variety of heliports and heli stations as well outside the airport area. So a lot of great work going into here from the Pilot Experience team. As said, this is their first release for the new sim. So they've taken the quality that they've been known for and adding in and taking all the skills of the new sim as well and bringing out with something that looks pretty good and a reasonably good price point for this one as well. So looking about $13 US for new users, and about $5 cheaper than that if you're an existing user wanting to pick that up. Available now from Sim Market. Continuing on with more releases, or rounding out the releases for the Microsoft Flight Simulator this week. I saw the release from Vertical Sim, an X-Plane, fairly prolific X-Plane developer, with their first release for the new sim, with their release of Kitty Hawk First Flight Airport. Don't have a lot of information about this airport, other than they released it, and and the scenery covers not just the airport but also the monument to Orville and Wilbur Wright. So for those who may not know, First Flight Airport is actually built on the location where so they're considered to be the fathers of flight, the Wright brothers, and would actually take. We actually did a lot of their glider experiments before taking on their first fateful flight with powered flight. So. Kind of interesting story, kind of cool. It's an amazing place to visit. I think the guys have done a really from looking at the images, it looks like they've done a pretty good job. But the best part is they've actually released to this community for free. So yeah, as I said, it's their first experience with the new sim. They're giving it a try. They're giving it to us as a gift. So looking forward to giving that one a try. Available now from Vertical Sim. Moving out of the Microsoft Flight Simulator releases, moving into the world of X-Plane releases this week. So this week we saw the release from developer Uncle Jack Simulations of their release of their rendition of the Fairchild PT-19. Now it's funny, every time I look at this aeroplane, I just look at it and go, is that just a de Havilland Canada? Like, is that a chipmunk, a de Havilland Canada chipmunk, or is it a because they're just so very similar designs. They use I'm pretty sure they use the same engine. I'm pretty sure at the same time, but low wing monoplane trainer, two-seat trainer used during the sort of interwar, sort of early World War II period. So this is comes to us from, as I said, from Uncle Jack Simulations with a high degree of accuracy, including a highly accurate 3D model both internally and externally, designed to be used with the experimental flight model system of X-Plane 11, 11.4 and above, and is also fully compatible with the Vulcan and Metal Shader engines of 11.5 as well. Includes a variety, the textures are included with full PBR materials as well. The variety of textures and liveries are included. Also been tested with a variety of PT-19 actual real-world pilot tests as well. Full set of FMOD sound setups, as well as Avitab integration as well. And a custom persistence system as well to actually track the operation and the state of your various systems of the aircraft as well. And it includes an interactive mechanic as well, which is kind of cool. Now, if you want, you can pick this one up from X Aviation for $30 or your original equivalent, available now. For a scenery release this time for X-Plane 11, saw the release from Axonos. Saw their release of their rendition of Perth International Airport for X-Plane 11. This is their first release since they rebranded, as they sort of came over to it from a previous company name. They've rebranded themselves and come out as Axonos, as their first in-house scenery development since that time. Includes the airport as it laid out in 2020, including custom 3D modeling of all major airport buildings, both airside and landside, for approach points of interest as well. Includes all full PBR 4K texturing of all major buildings and airport details as well, with a variety of custom ground clutter and a full PBR ground ortho done as well, with full support for high resolution ortho imagery and also modeling of the major buildings in the Perth CBD as well, because it is fairly close by, an important visual reference for coming into Perth. Now, if you want to pick this one up, you can pick this one up for $23 or your original equivalent, available now from your favorite flight sim retailer. In another scenery release for X-Plane 11, saw the release this week of Gaia Simulations' rendition of Berlin Tegel for X-Plane 11. There's not a lot of info for this one, other than it seems to be that I'm not sure whether it was a. Let's just they're keeping their cards very close to their chest on this one. They haven't really sort of said a lot of information about it, other than it's for X-Plane 11. But it's interesting that Gaia Simulations released their rendition of the same airport for the new simulator just a couple of weeks ago. So I'm not sure which one got ported over to which one, but either way, this one is looking pretty good. As I said, I can't even tell you if it's an accurate rendition of stuff because there is zero information about it other than that. So, other than it's apparently got highly detailed, but that's generic and everybody says that. So, yeah, anyway. If you want to pick this one up, you can pick this one up direct from Orbix Direct Store for $25 or your original equivalent, available now from Orbix. And continuing on with X-Plane 11 releases this week, release from Cloud Surf Asia Simulations, which I think pretty sure they're a fairly new developer. I'm pretty sure these guys, with their release of their rendition of Kuala Lumpur scenery for X-Plane 11. Now, this is an interesting scenery pack for these guys because not only does it include KL, the main airport in the KL as well, which I've transited through more than a few times over the last few years. It also includes a rendition of a variety of places in the surrounding area, including the Mont Chiara, Brickfields, Mid Valley City, and a variety of other major cities, as well as also Kuala Lumpur itself, the city centre itself. So you get a high-definition rendition of the airport as appears in 2020, including all major buildings done in full HD texturing with accurate 3D models, full PBR textures on all airport buildings and some of the city landmarks as well. Also includes custom high-resolution satellite imagery of the airport and surrounding areas, with augmented orthophotos for the city, with almost 10 to 0% cloud coverage are also included as well, and a full custom update of all the autogen for the whole of Malaysia as well, which is kind of a full update of the autogen for Malaysia, and updated of information for where it is in the surrounding cities. So there's a lot going on in this pack. The developer does note that there are some issues because they're relying on OSM and OpenStreetMap data, that there are some areas which aren't filled out correctly. They have acknowledged that they are working on that, but they said that most of the areas are good, but there are a couple of areas which do fall out, and the port area has not been done at this time. They are looking at including it later on, but at this time they're not done. But either way, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck for this one. And you're looking at, speaking of bucks, you're looking at paying $15 US or your original equivalent, available now from SimMarket. Moving out of the flight simulation world and moving into the world of the permanent way, saw a few releases of, a few versions of the same train get released across 2 different platforms this week. So firstly, for Train Simulator 2021, I still can't believe they just rebrand that every year. But anyway, moving on. Saw the release this week of Canadian Pacific AC 4400 CW locomotive. So that is just a mouthful, isn't it? Anyway, so this is a very powerful, highly detailed train coming as part of the Pro range from Searchlight Simulations, and is highly accurate and lovingly detailed down to apparently the smallest bolts, with a full undersill detailing and a fully accurate custom 3D model of the internals and externals, with a fully accurate and interactive internal cab as well. Includes, as I said, so it's a highly detailed model, including fully openable doors and windows, for the fully modeled engine start station as well. Dynamic in-cab camera movement with the air ride seats that you sit in as well, which is kind of interesting. You get the main train unit. You also get the MU multiple unit and the DPU distributed power unit set up with telemetry information flowing through as well. The auto engine start-stop system self-test did included and modeled as well, with a variety of other custom systems all done as well, including engine oil, water, ambient temperature calculations, all dynamically fed into the simulation as you go along. Oh, that's a lot of list there. You also get 5 career scenarios as well, which do, however, the career scenarios do require the Canadian Mountain Passes Revelstoke to Lake Louise add-on route add-on to be included as part of your sim as well. And if you want to pick this one up, you can pick this one up for $35 US or your original equivalent, available now on Steam. Moving into the other main train simulator that kicks around these days, which is Trainz 2019. Saw the release this week of 2 versions of the AC 4400 CW. So as I said, this is literally all of the train releases with this one version of Train, just across a couple of different versions of it. So the first version that we saw released for Trainz 2019, it was a Southern Pacific version of the train, including 4 different liveries for it, and it's fully highly accurate simulation of it, including fully interactive computer screens, dynamic brakes, running numbers, air hoses, MU cables, with a variety of scripted cab functions and night lighting included as well. As well as the rendition of the Southern Pacific one, they also included a Utah Belt rendition of the same train with the same features. So I feel like that maybe just be a reskinning of that, so it doesn't seem to actually do anything different with that one as well. Now, as I said, if you want to pick either of those up, you can pick them up for $14 US or your regional equivalent, available now from Steam or direct from Trainz. Moving out of the permanent way and moving on to the asphalt, saw the release this week from Milestone of their latest in their motorbike simulation, racing simulations franchise, of the release this week of Ride 4. So the latest version, just not seems to be a huge amount going on that's here. seems to be very, very similar to Ride 3 and Ride 2, if I'm honest, other than the fact that it does include some additional customization options and also some updates to the campaign engine as well. You've also got a few more bikes and a few more licensed tracks have included as well as part of this year's release. It includes again a fully interactive day-night cycle, and with dynamic weather and endurance races are included as well. So this came out as the base edition. The base edition is coming out at $50 available from Steam or available from your favorite console retailer as well, with a variety of day one DLC. It's interesting that there is the multiplayer system this time is. I'm hesitant to say microtransaction driven, but the fact that one of the DLC is a permanent credits multiplier means that I think there's going to be a lot of this release is going to be set up for microtransactions. I hope I'm wrong, but I could be. So anyway, as I said, if you want to pick that one up, available now from Steam for your PC versions or from your favorite console retailer, available now. And finally, rounding out the NovaWrap this week, saw the releases this week from EA Sports of the latest in their ongoing franchise of FIFA, with the release this week of FIFA 2021, or just FIFA 21, I think it actually is. I feel again, every time I report on this every year, I feel like I'm just rolling back, like we're just rolling back the clock. I don't. Literally, there seems to be nothing new here other than the player roster's changed. Once again, they've come out with 3 different editions, Standard, Champions, and Ultimate. Basically, the Champions and Ultimate give you some of the microtransaction stuff included for free from the get-go. If you're wanting, the base edition starts at $60 and goes up from there. If you want to do that, I don't know if you do. I've never seen the appeal of it, but I also know that a lot of people don't see the appeal of driving trains or flying airplanes. So each to their own. We respect you. We love you for your chosen form of simulation. If you're interested in it, you probably already have it. But let everybody else know. Available now from EA, from your favorite simulation sports retailer. Available now. And with that, folks, that does round out the NovaWrap for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos and want to see more. And, of course, as always, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by catching me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. All right, folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.